Hello everyone, I'm Emmanuel and this is Emmanuel Kisana Tech. So yeah, originally I started off as ALX tutor. I was planning on doing daily videos on the tasks of the day, but then it really proved to be difficult given the pace in which ALX give the tasks. So I was unable to actually do those videos. I started with two videos, and since then there's been it's been very hectic, so I didn't have time to actually do those daily videos. But now I've reached the end of my foundation, so I'm basically done with the foundation phase of the ALX. So I just want to share my experience during this moment, during that period actually, and also like give some tips and observations that I have gained over the 9 months that I was doing this software engineering course. So yeah, as you can read in the title, it's an unpopular opinion. So I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'll just say that is as it is. So yeah, now my channel is now Emmanuel Kisanda Tech. I wanted to stay anonymous initially, but now I've noticed that it's good also for my CV and portfolio to have a YouTube channel where I can also display my talents. So yeah, that's why I decided to change it into my name, and this is how I look. So this is me. Yeah, I should probably have cut my hair. But anyways, that's me. I'm going through my journey with you guys through this channel. How I will be doing my specialization. In the future hopefully do vlogs once I start working. I've already got a lot of series out there. Like once I start working, or I've kind of been doing some tech jobs. Like I was working at the company, as an internship, so I do have experience already in the software engineering course. So later on, maybe I'll also release videos or vlogs on how a normal day would be as a software engineer here in Africa. I am actually in South Africa right now, so yeah, I'll be releasing more content on on software engineering in general and just tech. So we'll see how this channel will evolve over time. But yeah, so that's basically my plan. So the purpose of this video is to share my experience with you guys on how to survive ALX. So as you can see from my terminal, I am literally on the last week. Finalizing the last projects of the week, and then I'm done for the foundations. So yeah, so without wasting any more of your time, so yeah, that's my scores. Yeah, the first tip or the first advice that I would give for anyone who's starting ALX or anyone who's doing any software engineering course in general, my first tip would be your mindset. Make sure you have the correct mindset. Because I've noticed that a lot of the students who are doing ALX have this mindset that ALX can be a side thing. And I don't want to say that it is impossible, but if you want to maximize and come out a very good software engineer, I think it's best you should put your entire focus on this course during these couple of months and inform that you will actually be the best. Because if you want to mix it with other studies like university studies or full-time job, it will be very difficult to meet the demands of ALX. And also, there's one thing that they always mention that you need to have. You don't really need to have a coding experience. While I don't really agree with that, I feel like you should have some sort of experience in coding and in tech because it gets quite fast. Like after month one, like the pace is really what picked up. So yeah. So the first thing is your mindset. Make sure that you come with a mindset that this is what I'm gonna be doing for the next couple of months. I'm gonna give my all, and I'm gonna come out as a software engineer that is well qualified. As we all notice, like there's so many software engineers and developers rising nowadays, and there's so many courses that are out there, and then so just knowing the basics of software development is not enough anymore to land a job. I remember earlier on when I was still like starting with ALX, I was really applying for jobs and internships, and the rejections were a lot. Like, no, you're not experienced. You'd see candidates like 300 other applicants. So it has become a saturated field. So the basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript knowledge is not enough anymore. You really need to understand. And also for the times where I actually reached the interview process, um, there's technical questions that they give, there's problem solving questions that they give, there's so many tests that comes before landing a tech job where they really test your skills. So for those who feel like they just need the paper and then you'll find you then you figure things out along the way, wow, that's not a really good idea, because you'll already be found out when you enter the interview room, because you really need to know what you're doing, because you're up against, we as ALX students are up against computer science students from universities. So we really need to be distinctive. We really need to stand out in order for us to land those jobs, because we are competing with so many. I'm not sure about here in Africa, but I know there was a period in America that there were so many layoffs of software engineers. Like so there are those that lost their jobs, that also apply for new jobs, and the newbies, us who are just fresh out of university or out of the schools. We also apply, we're competing with those who have experience, who've been laid off by big companies. So we really need to be full on in this course. So the mindset is very important. And when they say the course is 70 hours a week, they are not joking. It literally takes over your life for the next couple of months. If you really want to be serious inside with this course, and you really want to be a good software engineer, you really need to dedicate the 70 weeks. I feel like the 70 weeks is like the minimum. So they gave us like a minimum. So we basically take 10 hours a day for this course. So if you are doing it as a side thing, I advise to make a choice, choose one thing. Like I said earlier on, it's my unpopular opinion. I will not say that you can do both. I suggest you should do one, focus on one thing. If you're gonna work, work. If you're gonna do university, do university. But if you're going to do ALX, it has to be your number one priority, because it really takes time. So yeah, it's basically 10 hours a day. So one thing I noticed, and it's a culture that has been developed in ALX from the beginning. I've noticed that once a new task is released, immediately a lot of people jump into the tasks, and that's where they become overwhelmed. They become rather anxious, because you study a new topic, a new concept, and immediately you want to answer questions, and then that's why people find themselves confused. Like, I don't know what to do. What's next? Without actually going through the resources that is provided. The resources are so overlooked that we become anxious. For example, let me go to one of the early tasks. If I would go to, let's go to Python, and then I would go to loops. If I would go to this task, these resources that we have here are crucial. We often overlook it. We often, in the beginning, I also was not really going through them as much, but then luckily I figured out early on that they are important, and that's why I actually broke down my 10 hours a day to 5 hours of really understanding these resources, watching the videos, studying as I would study a university course. I would sit down with a pen and paper. I would write down everything, take notes, summarize, study for the first 5 hours, so that when I do start with the tasks, I am more prepared, more confident, and you find out that you will do much better than you would if you just started with the task first rather from the beginning. And there's another thing that I want to mention that I've noticed from the beginning. You do not have to have 200% every single time. 200% for me, I believe it's only for month one. You do not need to have 200%. But I believe that I've noticed a lot where this pressure that I need to get 200%, I need to get 200, to the point where they forfeit the quality of the work or the understanding for the 200%. They end up copying, they end up getting answers from peers, and then they do not really benefit from the resources it's provided because of time constraints. So as you have noticed, my marks were, it started off as 150 month one, where I was aiming for 200 for some of the tasks, and in the second month it went down to 93. This month two, the reason why it's 15% it's validated is because I deferred in month two, and then that was after, I believe it was a print F statement, one of the tasks. So I deferred, and when you defer, like the big tasks that we have, for some reason, it was not calculated again. I got a zero for it, so my 15%. But because I did it before I deferred and got marks for that, they validated me. So it is not that I got 15 for that month. Originally it was like 80 something, and then month three 94, and then 71, and then month five was quite good at 100, and then month six 68. I really thought I was gonna be deferred. I was not gonna make it, but for some reason it was validated with 68%, and in month eight I got 80%, and in this month I'm getting 100 and something. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I did not get 200% for my months, or like my marks were not crazy high, because I took the time to actually learn and answer the questions by myself. And then I found out that I became better as a software engineer. My problem solving skills developed because I sat down and did the resources. I sat down and did the tasks. So I spent 5 hours studying, 5 hours doing the tasks. So I do not end up finishing every single task. Or I sometimes, most often, I don't even land up doing the advanced tasks. But I made sure that I finished the first task, the beginning task, the mandatory tasks. I made sure that I answered them correctly. I answered them honestly, meaning my own work. I figured it out, and before I go to additional resources to 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 get help or ask peers, I made sure that I first attempt the question by myself, and then try to figure it out based on the errors that I get, and not just like, okay, it didn't work, give me the answer, but I actually try to figure it out, try to debug and see what was the problem. So that is one mindset that we really need to have, is software engineering at ALX is my number one priority. It's something that I'm gonna give my all, and also make sure that you do your own work and study the resources, because I've noticed that there's such a copy and paste culture in ALX, where people are just copying and pasting. Like, there are those who I believe manage to reach specialization through copying and pasting. Yeah, like I said, I'll be honest, I won't sugarcoat anything. I know a couple of people that basically went through those course through copying and pasting, because it's easy to get the answers. You can just go to GitHub, look at the previous peers, GitHub, since the projects are basically the same every year. You just go there, you go to the task that you're busy with, you copy and paste, then you finish, you check, you see all your checkers are green, and then you go sleep. So that is basically something that a lot of people were doing, but I feel like you're really cheating yourself, because when it comes now to, you receive, oh cool, you receive your certificate, you're now a software engineer from ALX, and then you go to an interview, they ask you they ask you about DevOps. They ask you about Python or C. They give you an interview question or a technical question, a coding question that you have to answer, and then you are unable to answer it because you basically copied and pasted your way through the software engineering course, and then you're exposed, and then you end up not getting the job. So if you really care about your future and you really want to do well, I advise you to study the resources, answer the questions honestly by yourself, and then you'll find yourself getting better and better daily. And also, you don't need also to complete everything on first deadline. So the first deadline is just there to ensure that you get 100%, but it's better to make sure that you understand everything and complete everything, and then understand the work that you're doing. Yeah, so we should make sure we do not copy and paste, because that is basically shooting ourselves in the foot. It is something that really is detrimental to our advancement and our development as software engineers. Like I said, we are fighting against experienced people. We're also fighting against those that came from computer science majors at universities. So we really need to be exceptional. Therefore, we really need to take time and study the resources. And also, I know there's AI tools that are rising up. So ChatGPT can be used, but not to get the answer, but use ChatGPT to understand the concept. I use ChatGPT every single day to like understand the concept, the theory behind things. So I would ask it to explain a specific concept in a way that I would understand, in a more simpler way. Give me analogies. Give me use normal day explanations to explain the concept. And I found out that I understood things much easier because of like the explanations and the vast capabilities of AI. So we can use AI. It's advised to use AI, but use it to your advantage and for you to understand, and not to just get the answer. So yeah, so that is like basically the foundations. You just make sure you study everything, you do the task by yourself, you make sure that you finish the mandatory task or to the best of your ability. You don't need to get 200, you don't need to get 100%. Just make sure you meet the 70% threshold that is required, and you understand the work. You can always go back and go through your work again and understand and complete the tasks and everything, but just make sure you understand. That's the most important point, because there's no point in receiving the certification and you're basically not no different from how you were when you started. So that is basically the ALX foundations. So sprint one was with the basics, learning Git commands, learning C, and then sprint two was Python, the high level languages. Sprint three was basically the DevOps. I think it's explained, yeah. Yeah, so the DevOps understanding like the web technologies, understanding JavaScript, Python, security, understanding networking, understanding databases, which is MySQL, to understanding debugging, web stack debugging, and then also towards the end you had your portfolio project where you had to create your own project from scratch. Maybe like most did a full stack project, meaning you did the front end and the back end. Some did on offline projects, so it was not really limited or restricted to the content that we learned in ALX, because I did a Java game, which we didn't really learn Java inside ALX, but my project was based on Java. So yeah, we finish off with the project. We also do an APMB clone, which is I feel like is something that you really should take um to heart, something you should really put everything in it when you start with the APMB clone because it teaches you basically the important things of being a software developer. So you learn from the front end to the back end to the database to the deployment to security. So you basically do everything from start to end. So that is very important. And also, yeah, so I'm gonna start the specialization next month in March. So this is basically what I expect. I don't know if this is front end, this one full is front end, and then that's back end, or we're all gonna do everything because we were told to choose a specialization, so I'm going for the back end, me and 1,017 other people, and then 417 people going to the front end. So I don't know if there are SPN 4 is front end, SPN 5 is back end, because the SPN 5 looks more back endish, and SPN 4 looks more front end. So yeah, so that's basically it. So just to summarize all that I was saying, yeah, so make sure you have correct mindset, make sure you do the task by yourself, make sure you don't copy and paste, make sure you do the tasks on time. You don't need to get 200. You don't need to submit on the first deadline. Just make sure you understand and you make the thresholds. Make sure you get 70% at the end of each month, and make sure you understand and improve daily. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. How I survived ALX. I gave you tips and advice that I picked up over the couple of months that I was doing this course. So as we go forward in this channel, I'll be releasing more content, and also be going back to old tasks and be doing tasks that those that are also starting on ALX need the help with. So I believe I'll probably have more time depending on how the specialization goes, or maybe after the specialization. So I'll dedicate this channel to just teaching the ALX tasks and explaining the concepts so that you don't need to read all the resources, but you can just come to a video that's probably just 50 minutes or an hour that teaches all the resources and gives you explanation. So you just watch the video and then you go and try and attempt the tasks. So basically that's what I want to do in the future. So yeah, if you are an ALX student that is starting or is in the beginning, I advise you to subscribe. I advise you to yeah to really subscribe and follow so that you really benefit from the videos that I'll be producing, and it will help you ease your ALX journey and your software engineering journey. And if you're just a tech or software engineering person, I'll also be releasing other content. I'm thinking of doing 100 days code challenge in Python, where I'll be doing daily talk about videos or weekly videos doing the 100 days challenge, what the Python challenge. So yeah, stick around. Also, when I'll be working as a software engineer, I'll also be it's explaining or showing what is a normal day as a software engineer here in South Africa, what are the tasks we do, and everything like that. So yeah, do stick around. Yeah. So it's been Emmanuel. I'll see you guys in the next video.